AskReddit by Daily Dose of Reddit. What is your never again brand, store, restaurant, or company? If I see something is being shipped by On Track, I'll cancel. The 3 times they were the delivery company from Amazon, they lost one package completely and tried to say it wasn't their fault. The second package was also deemed lost, but then showed up on my doorstep something like 6 weeks later. The third time it sat on shipping label created for a week and I just contacted Amazon and cancelled the package. You don't find a lot of positive reviews out there, and any positive ones you do find seem like they were written by the company via a fake account. Every package I've ever had stolen was shipped via On Track. They claimed it was delivered, and I never find it. One time I looked with minutes of its supposed delivery. Yeah, sure, maybe the residents of my apartment complex are shady, but UPS, FedEx, and USPS never seem to have this issue. On Track regularly marks my packages as delivered without coming anywhere near my house. I always have to call and complain, and they have to come back the next day. I've had them pretend to find the package in my front yard after I watched them leave the car with it. Jiffy Lube. Those idiots told me my car has no filter. I'm pretty sure they just didn't want to take it out. They also said my car takes a special European oil and charged a lot extra for it. It's not a special oil at all. It's an uncommon oil, but a gallon of it costs the same as typical oil. I'm going to stick with the dealership to get oil changed because it's cheaper and they know what they're doing. Edit. I forgot to add the ending to this story. Not long after I got my oil changed, Jiffy Lube sent me a text message with a link asking to leave a review of their service on Google. So I obliged and left the most brutally honest 1-star review you'd ever read. The next day, the manager called me and left a voicemail. She was very adamant that Jiffy Lube had to charge a high price for my oil because it only can run on special European oil. In regards to the air filter, she offered an investigation to look at video footage to see if the technicians looked for the air filter. I know they didn't because I would've seen them take it out. It's inside the engine cover, which they never took off. I seriously don't know how Jiffy Lube is still in business. I hear nothing but bad things about them. In my own experience, you never get the advertised special. There's always something about your car that makes it need more oil or more expensive oil, or whatever. I guess we are both just lucky that they remembered to put the drain plug back in. Comcast. A door-to-door salesman straight up lied to my dad, saying they had a Ford EVR setup that would cost less than what we were paying AT&T. When the installation guy got there, he said that no, they didn't have a Ford EVR setup. He was told to give us the standard 2 DVR setup, which was absolutely not something that would work in a house with 6 people with wildly different tastes in TV shows. So my dad tells him never mind, we are sticking with AT&T then. But because the Comcast guy had already installed a new cable box, he couldn't take it back with him. So we had to mail it back to Comcast ourselves. The kicker is, 5 years later Comcast tried to bill my parents for the cable box, saying we never sent it back. My parents insisted they did, and Comcast wanted the UPS receipt, which obviously we no longer had, because it was 5 years ago, and we hadn't heard anything from them before this. So my parents refused to pay. Comcast sent a collections company after us, and when my parents explained the situation to the collection company, they were like, those fuckers, we'll take care of this. That was, thankfully, the end of it. Probably the nicest collections agency you'll ever see. That happens so rarely where they will do anything but hound you for payment. I took my Beta Woods truck to a local tire shop for an alignment. They told me they couldn't align it because I had a sticky U-joint, and then charged me for an hour of labor because they had to take the tie rods off. I argued because U-joints don't impact alignment, and B, there was about an inch of grime on the castle nuts, so there's no way the tie rods came off. They brought out a manager who just made shit up about how alignments work. I'm a mechanical engineer. I think they thought they could get away with it because I'm female. Nope, I filed a complaint with the state and they were fined for lying about service costs. Good for you. I hate people who take advantage because they think their customers don't know any better. Rather than learn everything there is to know about cars, I turn it around on them. Walk in asking for stereotypical mechanic name, only to be told he doesn't work there. Oh, he must be at the other location. Sorry. Start to walk out and pause at the door. How much would you charge for X to be done? They'll never truly undercut themselves, and you'll get a competitive rate. I bought an engine from AutoZone for a vehicle I owned. They had a vendor build the engine, and it was supposed to ship to my house. I waited 3 weeks for it to arrive, but it never did. I contacted their store, was told that it hadn't shipped yet and was coming via FedEx freight. I kept up with the tracking hash, but couldn't get anywhere with it. I kept calling back every couple of days to see what was going on, and no one could figure it out. I finally managed to find out that it had shipped via another company, RL Freight, and had been delivered to somewhere else. It was like pulling teeth to get a refund on an engine I never received. It took another 2 weeks to get the refund. I won't buy a soda from AutoZone now. Yeah, I got 3 bad starters in a row from them. I thought I was losing my fucking mind. 4th came from a dealership and it's still in the truck 4 years later. Whenever buying a part from AutoZone or Advance, get it tested before leaving if possible. Mine got a whole batch of bad alternators once. Had to test 30 before they found a good one. Chili's. I don't know how this even happens, but I was served fried chicken that was cold and literally had ice on it. Well, it's not called warmers, dude. Best idea ever for a restaurant. A wall of microwaves and a wall of TV dinners. Warmies. For when life gives you the cold shoulder. And instead of tables, there are individual chairs with TV trays. Frontier Internet. They're one of the shittiest ISPs I've ever had. I will never go back, no matter how cheap it is. Okay, so we have your internet hooked up. Wait, I only get 1 megabits per second for $60 a month up to. The speeds are up to 30 megabits per second. So I had 4 no-show installations and took off 5 days of work for 1 megabits per second internet. Yeah, I guess so. This is a true story that happened in a small Midwest town approximately 3 years ago. It's ludicrous that internet providers are allowed to refer to their internet speeds like this. Oh, your speed is up to 30 megabits per second? Well, then I'll pay you up to $60 per month. Okay, here's $1. Wayfair delivered a wooden table that had a huge split on the side and was broken where you put the leaf to extend the table. Got 4 deliveries and every single time it was the exact same table with the same damage. Eventually got a full refund, but did they seriously think that would work? Makes 0 sense to me. Bonus, ordered a bedroom set around the same time and paid for delivery and assembly. The assemblers were 2/3 through the assembly and told me they couldn't finish because they couldn't understand the instructions. Had them take all the stuff back and also got a refund. I had some fairly expensive furniture delivered from Art Van before and noticed a pretty big scuff where the laminate was chipped off the side of a computer hutch. This was the mid-90s lol. Anyway, they said they'd get another from the truck, which I found really implausible, and sure enough they were gone for 10 minutes before coming back with the same hutch, except they had colored in the chipped area with a brown marker. I made some interesting phone calls after that one. TurboTax. Did my return. Got a notice that my e-file needed to be corrected. Logged back in to fix it, and my return wasn't there anymore. 6 hours on the phone with 3 tiers of tech support, each one trying exactly the same thing. Finally they were just trying random shit, so I tried random shit in parallel. Managed to get to my return with the invoice number from paying for the service without logging in. Tried to get them to understand that this was a very bad thing, that they should report to someone, and they told me they had no access to anyone technical and no way to submit bugs. This from the company that lobbied to make it illegal for the government to offer tax filing service. Tim Hortons. Quality is gone. They no longer have in-store bakeries. The coffee blend is god-awful. The menu is huge. The speed of service is horrible, and the way the owners are treated by the franchise is just disgusting. They need to stop trying to do everything and get back to focusing on what made them great. Cancan. a little Mexican restaurant in my area. They had a bunch of tacos on their menu, all of which listed cheese and white sauce as ingredients. The fish tacos didn't, so I ordered them, and didn't bother specifying that I didn't want cheese or white sauce. Well, they came out smothered in both, and I couldn't eat them, so I sent them back. The waiter came out and made a huge show of interrogating my husband about why she, meaning me, sitting right there across the fucking table, fully capable of speaking for myself, sent back the food and told my husband that it wasn't the restaurant's fault, that she didn't just assume that the tacos would obviously come covered in ingredients the menu didn't mention. When I said that he should be talking to me, the one with the problem, he said that he was only comfortable talking with the one who would be paying the bill. I asked to speak to the manager, and as he was leaving to get him, I very clearly heard him call me a bitch on his way out. The manager backed up his sexist prick of a server, so we left without paying, have never gone back, and have told others not to go. Fuck that place. This was in Pennsylvania. Sorry, not comfortable being more specific. I read that as a little Mexican restaurant in Cancun, and was thinking, wow, she is sticking to her guns if she is refusing to go back to an entire city because of one asshole waiter.